Hi everybody and welcome to Paper Wishes Vlog. I'm Lene Gehrig and I've got some great stamps and cutting dies today from our friends at Hunky Dory Crafts. This is for the love of stamps. It's Tea Time collection and it's Tea Time Edge-It stamps and dies. So when I first looked at these I was like, what is this? I'd not seen these before. They are fabulous and Hunky Dory is great about putting in full color instructions with their dies so that you know exactly what's happening there. So let's show you this first card. This one is the little teapot right here, and it has a cutaway on the right edge. You can also add dies to have it cut away on both edges, so you have sort of a card topper, or you can have it cut away on the left edge so that it would be over here. So I'll show you all of that. But let's turn these over. So we've got the Tea Time right edge right here. So what we would do is open your card and stamp your image and then place this die, stamp set there, place this die right here. I like to use the low tack tape from Hunky Dory to secure that and then just run it through your die cutting machine. You would need to make sure if you're doing it on this particular edge that if you're running it through this way, you want to make sure your card is 6 inches wide if you have a Big Shot or a Gemini Junior that's 6 inches wide. The dies fit through there just great, but if your card is a little taller, you'd want to cut that down a little bit. Okay, so you can use it with any size machine. So let me put this one back. All right, so this is what it would look like right here. Here is this great cake stand with a beautiful cake if you used both of the cake stand pieces. So if you put this one right here, and I love how these worked out so well. They really do line up perfectly with the stamped image. It gives you a nice little white edge around there. So if you put these right here, they would cut out just that card topper, and then I was able to color both of these with Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend markers, which if you watch my videos before, you know I'm a big fan of. So for these particular cards, I used sort of the same color scheme because I wanted to really get that tea party feeling and have sort of a collection look to it. So for the teapot, I used pale pink blend, and for the flowers, I used both coral blend and light yellow here for these little pansies, and for these flowers over here, I added a little bit of the pale pink as well. Okay, so for this card, I used the 6x6 number 2 gingham papers. So I used the coral paper. They're very close in color. I'm not sure if they're picking up on camera, but the coral color is on the inside of the card, and then I used a little bit of pastel pink on the outside, and that went really well with that color of my teacups. And then I used, oops, here we go, some white jewel Dazzle stickers along the edges there. And there's these are one of my favorites, the We're Together Dazzle stickers, and these were designed specifically. Debbie and I requested these because we're sending a lot of cards and making a lot of cards that are thinking of you and miss you and that type of card because of what's going on in the world today. So we really wanted to have something that reflected that. Now they're also great for Valentine's Day. There's a lot of love you and let's see what else is on here. Miss our time together, missing you, my friend. So they're great for platonic Valentines as well. So I use the missing our time together, but there's also great stamped greetings here. And I used on this slim line card, which is 3.5 by 8.5. I used the Cake is the Answer stamp, and I firmly believe that's cake is the answer. So I cut for this one, I cut the background paper is from Dotted Duos number 2, and it's got this great ivory paper. So I used that for my background, cutting it just smaller than the card. Before I glued it on, I went ahead and took this border stamp of lace right here And I stamped that using this Prism pink jelly bean. It's a really nice happy pink at the top and the bottom. Then glued my background paper to my card. And then, as I showed you before, I just used the dies to cut out all the edges, both sides, glued that to the front, and then I've got my cute little butterflies here. There's several on here. And I used those to just decorate my little greeting and, excuse me, to add to little bits of flowers there. I used a little bit of foam tape. Use these little foam tape squares, just one little dot was enough to just give that a little bit of a lift. In coloring in my cake, I used, for the cake itself, this gold brown blend. So I went darker along the top and the bottom edges and then lighter in the center. I used the coral in the same way, darker at the top, lighter down here. As the flowers, I told you what I used those before. I used the coral pens on the butterflies. And then for the strawberries, I used this dark red blend and the dull green blend. And then I also added, oh, I forgot to grab that. Gotta get it out of my little bag here. I used ice blue blend, and I used the lightest shade. Just put a little bit along these lines right here. Just a little bit of blue. Not coloring in the glass, but just giving that hint of tinted blue glass. All right, so that's that one. Then I've got a couple of other stamps that really go, oh, sorry, here's this one I wanted to show you, this stack of teacups. So for this particular one, I wanted to get into a little bit of the coloring. So you know what, let's go and color our cups using the tri-blend marker, the golden brown. Okay, so I wanted to keep within that theme. I'm using the darkest color right here along the base of the teacup. I'm also going to put dark kind of in those shadow areas and on the sides, in the corners, kind of all the places right there. And now I'm going to use the medium blend to just blend out that darker color a little bit. I'm going to go the top of my little teacup here. Hey, let's zoom in a little bit on this, Steve. And now we're going to the lighter one. I've got the lightest color, and I'm just filling in on the teacup with that lightest color. And that's going to be my final color that I use the majority of this cup with. Okay, so I've got my teacup done. And I'm going to just take that lighter color and blend a little bit more where those little darker areas were. There we go. All right, now I'm going to take some coral. I'm going to start with the medium and just do the centers of the flowers. And then I'm going to do the lighter shade around the outsides. And you can see this is going very quickly, a little bit more medium. Go. And then we're going to go to the light pink. Start with that medium. And I'm just going to do that around this flower. And we're going to go to the dark. Go right into that center part. All right, so now we've got a cute little teaspoon. I'm just going to do this teaspoon to grab my bag again. Got a great big bag here of pens that I was bringing to and from my home. All right, so we're going to take that, do a darker side, and then a lighter side as well. We're going to do our little teacup tag, or a little tea bag tag there. Here's the dull green. I'm going to do some leaves. Go. And we've got a little cookie there, so we're going to do that in, I think, the darkest pink. And use a little bit of light yellow. I think the darkest light yellow. That cream filling. And I'm also going to use the yellow on my tea bag. All right, so you can kind of do that all the way down. You can mix up your colors. You can do, what I would recommend is not doing the same teacup all the way down, but mixing up the colors. So the primary background on this one could be the light pink. This one could be coral. This one could be yellow. And that way you're getting some variation there. All right, so then we're going to go to our edges here. This is the right edge for the teacup. So if you wanted to have this part be part of the card and this part be the cutaway edge, that's what you would use. Okay, and then the same goes for this edge right here. If you wanted this portion to be a part of your card and this portion to be cut away. So this portion would be maybe nearest your fold. All right, now let's move on to the next stamp set. So this one right here, this is the Memories at Home stamp set. And what I did with this one, I should mention, I love to use the Hunky Dory stamping paper. It's somewhere buried on my desk. So if I find it, I will show that to you, but you can find it at Paper Wishes. Just a really good quality white cardstock for stamping. And for my background, I used the lovely pink color, lovely ombre pink. Oh, I wish I could just show you guys the state of my desk right now. Here we go. It was actually closer away than farther away. This is the Ombre Pink Ink Pad. And what I did with this was, I started out by doing the lightest color on the stamp. So let's see, I turned this over and I would stamp add ink with the lightest color at the top and kind of work my way down, okay? Then I would turn the stamp pad over and I'm going to do the lightest color down at the bottom here and work my way in so that you have light, light, and then the center is dark ink, right? So then I also wanted to add some thin line Jewel Dazzle stickers here. These are thin line Dazzles. These are glitter, all right? And I love this pink one. You can see here there's just a little rows and rows and rows of different patterns of tiny little thin line Dazzle stickers. And I've got one here. So I've got one placed along the top edge and right through the center here. And I want to place some more. Normally I would do this before I glued the white cardstock to the matte of the pink here. But I'll show you how this goes. So I just clip it right there even. I've got this lovely length. I'm going to put that right in the middle here. And to get this straight, what I do is I sort of look at this side. I'm about the middle of where that gingham paper is. And I'm going to just stretch it. I tack it down here and I pull it very, very gently to see if I'm going straight across or if I'm a little high or a little low. Be straight across. Go. And I'm going to just trim that away even with that edge as well. And then I just added a little gingham ribbon, that little hot pink gingham ribbon right there to the edge. And I also colored in, you'll notice on this particular stamp, it's got some edges, some little lines there that are perfect for coloring. So I actually used my pale pink marker, used the darkest shade, and just went over that. Filled those in very quickly. And then I had a very quick and easy card. And the paper pack that I used for this was the Gingham #2 paper pack in this wonderful pink color, but I used it in the large check. And because it comes with all of these wonderful colors, we also have coordinating ombre ink pads for these colors. So if you want to do the purple or the teal or the blue, we have orange that goes great with the coral. You could get this in a lot of different color schemes. All right, and the last one I have for you is this lace card. And I wanted to show you that it's got these wonderful little corners, this delightful doilies. And it's got 2 corners and then 2 great little lengths of lace that you can repeat for borders. So for this one, what I did was I actually took I took my stamping pad, here we go. And I wanted to show you how you can take a quarter of a doily and make it into a half very easily. But I should also mention, before I get that far, that I used Wood and Textures paper pack for this great brick. Right here is this wonderful white brick color, paper rather. And then I stamped this on some brown paper from our Christmas cardstock collection. And just used a Memento black ink pad. And I used a length of black grosgrain ribbon from a black ribbon set across the center there, or along the top edge, and put a couple of these little roses. This is from Country Blooms, this is Cloud, and I just clustered those right in the center there. Took another little 1/8 inch ribbon of black, tied a shoestring bow, and then just stuck it right under there and glued that. And then I added the word friend from black Tiny Words and Phrases Dazzle stickers. And on the inside, you can see where I repeated along the bottom edge here, and then did my little greeting, have a beautiful day, and just sort of cut that into a dovetail notch there and matted it with some black cardstock and added another little flower there. So I would recommend doing this border first before you start building the outside of your card, especially if you're trying to get it inside of a Misty. You can always fold it back like this and stamp that edge, and then you're free to do this part. All right, so let's get back to my original point, which was how to make a full, well, rather a half doily from a quarter. All right, so I'm going to push this out, do this, I'm going to turn this. Go. You'll notice the paper here is even with the bottom edge, and I also put the stamp even with the bottom edge of the Misty. Okay. I should go over that again, but we're going to move on. All right, and then you're going to take this, put it even with that bottom edge, just line that right up. I'm not going to worry about coverage of ink. I really am worrying about position here. All right, there we go. So now you get this wonderful half. So you can actually do the same thing. If you started up a little higher here, you could actually do a full doily. And if you find that you're getting a little bit of space in between there and you went, oh, rats, that's not what I wanted, they're not quite close enough, just take a black pen and just color a little bit right on that seam, and it's perfectly fine. I'll tell you a secret, that's what I did on this one. There was a tiny little space there between them, and I just colored it in with black. Nobody knows. All right, so you guys, we've got a great money saver on this collection of stamps and dies. So I would really encourage you to check that out. If you're watching us on our Paper Wishes vlog page, then the money saver is directly to the right. And if you're watching us on YouTube, then look in the description box below the video. You'll find a link to the Money Saver bundle on all these great goodies, and also a link to paperwishes.com. And if you like our video, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing. We do 3 to 4 videos a week, and you'll learn lots of stuff. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.